All right, so today we're going to be looking at trimmer heads, specifically Echo trimmer heads. So what you see in front of you is a brand new EchoMatic Pro in the original retail packaging. And on the trimmer, installed already, somewhere down there, you have the Echo Speed Feed 400. Now, I don't know about everybody else, but I absolutely hate this trimmer head. I can't stand it. It always jams. I can't seem to load more than, I think, maybe 8 feet on each side, for a total of 16 feet of Echo's own trimmer line, the 095. I just find it extremely frustrating. I've never been able to get that like auto rewind, or not the auto rewind, like to reload it without taking it apart. I've never been able to get that to work. So today we're going to be replacing that trimmer head, the Speed Feed 400, with what I've known and loved for years, the EchoMatic Pro. I think I've actually only used the EchoMatic, but they have an EchoMatic Pro. So I don't understand why they feel the need to take a design that worked for so long, so well, and then go and mess it up. I mean, I've been using the EchoMatic or the equivalent since the 90s, and it's easy to reload. There's no issues with it. It doesn't jam. It lasts forever. I mean, look at this EchoMatic. I mean, this thing is less than a year old, and look, it's already starting to wear out here. I mean, this to me is not acceptable. I use this to cut like 5 or 6 lawns in my neighborhood that are each less than a quarter acre in size. I mean, that should not happen. I don't think I've ever had to replace this piece on an EchoMatic Pro. Not once. And I've been using those since the 90s. So I don't know how everybody else feels. I'm curious what everybody else thinks. Leave your comments in the comment section. Tell me what you like or dislike about the EchoMatic Pro and the Speed Feed 400. I think they have a couple different variations of the Speed Feed, but I don't like it. So without further ado, let's actually take this trimmer head off. This is one of those Echo Pro Attachment Series ones. This is the PASS 266. So let's take the trimmer head off of the power head, bring it up on the bench, and get a better look at it. Absolutely love this system, by the way. Okay, I got the trimmer portion detached from the power head. Now again, I've never done this before, so I'm not really sure what's involved in replacing these things. So I'm guessing there's some kind of locking mechanism. I'm using this little rod that actually came with my edger attachment. I'm assuming this thing just unscrews. Looks like it's, yeah, it's reverse threaded. It actually seems like it's going to be a pretty quick and easy video. Not much to that, was there? Let's remove all the crap that's built up in here. And please don't mistake my my loathe for this trimmer head as me not liking Echo. I absolutely love Echo products. I think I can count, well, let's see. Yeah, maybe I can count, I don't know, let's see. I've been using Echo products since probably the 90s, maybe mid-90s, and I don't think I've ever had one of their products actually fail on me, which is kind of impressive because I take care of my equipment, but I beat the crap out of it. So here's our new, older design trimmer head. This is a previous design. This is the newest design. I mean, this is heavier too. And the nice thing, this one's super easy to reload. You just, this whole thing just pops out like that. I'm not gonna do that because it's already loaded. And if anybody needs details on this bar, I don't know the part number, but let me measure it real quick. All right, so this bar is about 195 thousandths in diameter, so 0.195, maybe just a tad over. So if you ever need one of these, you don't have it, you know what you need now. It's not like an exact science though. There's some wiggle room there. So now we just thread our new trimmer head back on. And lefty loosey, righty tighty, remember that. There we go. That makes me happy. So now looking at the older trimmer head, supposedly you're supposed to be able to rewind this without taking it apart, but again, I've never been able to get that to work. If anybody has any tips for actually making this thing useful, let me know. Otherwise it's going in the, you know, that place where all the bad things go. And I'm pretty sure this part is not supposed to be loose here, but it is. I don't know. Again, I think this thing is a hunk of junk. If anybody has a differing opinion, let me know in the comments. Now that we have this thing out on the bench, now is a great time to take it apart and actually lube this drive shaft. There's a flexible drive cable that goes in this piece here. There's actually a mating piece up in the power head. We'll lubricate that too. It's not something you have to do every day. I think Echo wants you to do this like every 25 hours maybe. Don't hold me to that. So there's the drive cable. Let me put a glove on before I get all nasty and dirty. Actually, maybe I'll put two on. Treat myself. All right, here goes nothing. Really not much to this system. So we have our flexible drive cable here. Just going to wipe the old grease off. This thing's pretty new, so it shouldn't be too tragically disgusting. Echo would, I'm sure, love it if you used their grease and only their grease, but I'm not going to. Just going to use what I have in my grease gun, which I think is just like a nothing too fancy Mobil 1 grease. I'm just going to squirt some in my hand here. I'm just going to lube the shaft. Settle down, settle down. Should be good. I generally don't put a lot of grease on these things from the factory. I never really understood why. Crack all your jokes now. So if you use this thing just for home use, maybe do this every year or so. Gotta get it back in here too. And just simply slip the cover back on. You don't want to get any dirt or contaminants on this shaft too, so just be careful of that. If you don't do this, you'll eventually snap the cable. It might not happen today or tomorrow, but it will happen eventually. There we go. Obviously, don't forget to tighten your T27 screws here. And that center screw here is what locates this tube and this housing here. So with this screw tight, this will move around, but you won't be able to remove it. This one clamps it in place. Now you are periodically supposed to take this nut out and lubricate the gear housing, but that's not something that you need to do very often. This thing is too new to need that. So this piece is done. Let me get the power head up on the workbench and we'll do the same thing to that drive shaft, drive cable, whatever you want to call it. Now obviously if you do not have a split boom system like this, the Pro Attachment series, then you're only going to have one cable to lubricate. And for that one, I think you just take the trimmer head off like you just saw me do, and the whole cable slips out even from the power head all the way back to the clutch up there. But again, this is the Pro Attachment series, so that's not how this one works. So same type of deal. You have a screw that locates this housing on the tube. So you just take that one almost all the way out. There's another screw on the other side that clamps it in place. All T27 torque, so just one tool required to do all this, which is kind of nice. There we go. This drive cable is a little bit longer. Same procedure. I have seen these things snap before. It doesn't happen often, but I have seen these. In fact, I think I did a video of one of these snapping on a Shindaiwa edger, right? That wasn't too long ago. This cable looks like it's in good shape. This one has, this power head actually has more hours on it than the trimmer head does. This power head I think is from 2014. I've used it to trim trees, I've used it as a trimmer, I've used it as a lot of things. So this cable I would expect more wear than the other cable. But overall it's in pretty good shape. Same deal. Just squirt some grease into my hand and lube the shaft. It's rather important that you don't get dirt on these because that dirt's going to live inside that tube pretty much forever. And it'll have years and years and years to work on this cable and slowly or quickly wear it out. Put Mr. Grease Gun out of the way. So same deal. Lube that shaft. Now, while this is for an Echo, other manufacturers use pretty much the same system, so this is not something that will just work on an Echo, thankfully. And with this cable, you got to make sure it fully engages the clutch and the power head. So see how it's sticking out? It should pop into place just like that. That's about what it should look like. That connector should be just about flush with the tube. And simply tighten the T27s down. There we go. And we'll just put it back together. There we go. Let's start her up and see how she runs. Have not used this trimmer in a while because I've been using my Pro Attachment Series PAS 2620, the newer version of this, but I decided to decommission this McLean edger over here. It needs more parts than it's worth, sadly. Had a good run though, I think it's from the 80s. So I bought an edger attachment for my other PAS 2620 and I got to put the trimmer attachment on this PAS 266. Let's see if it starts. Let it warm up a minute. Spin a minute or so. Make sure the trimmer head spins. Spinning just fine. Cool. Resurrected from storage and runs great. Cool. Anyway, so if you guys found this video helpful, please subscribe, stay safe. Thanks for watching, everybody. And now you know how to swap a trimmer head and lube a trimmer drive shaft.